Joining us now is dog trainer Zach George, host of Zach George's Dog Training Revolution.
CNN wants to interview me about Governor Kristi Noem. She's the sitting governor in South Dakota. And in a book that she has coming out, there's an excerpt that's making news where she boasts of having to, trigger warning here, where she boasts of shooting her pet dog, a 14-month-old German pointer, wire-haired pointer. And she defends it. Not only does she talk about this, not in a way that is remorseful, but in a way that is, I had to do it because it had to be done. This is how you know I am a leader. And CNN wanted me to comment on this.
Joining us now is dog trainer Zach George, host of Zach George's Dog Training Revolution.
And I have to say, Laura, before you bring Zach in, my dog was partly trained by Zach when he was a puppy. He's a hunting dog as well, and they're tough, they're difficult, but they're great dogs. They can be trained. Welcome to the show, Zach.
Oh, this is a special moment.
Thank you.
I love this. Well, listen,
Thank you. No, I appreciate that.
Go ahead, Zach.
Go ahead. Oh, yeah.
Don't do this like traffic stop things. You go.
Yeah, I'm glad you found value in the dog training videos. I make free videos for everyone out there to learn from on YouTube. Just look me up, Zach George.
I love that. Well, listen, I wonder from your perspective, when you hear that this 14-month-old wire-haired pointer, beautiful dogs, by the way, was out of her mind with excitement, chasing birds on a hunt, attacking chickens. I wonder what you made of that.
This is an astonishing story, to say the least. The behavior described here is very typical adolescent behavior out of a dog that's been selectively bred to have endless stamina and endurance. And it really speaks to the fact that the general public is deeply confused about dog behavior and how to treat them. That's something we advocate for a lot on my social media to try and help educate the public around modern humane treatment of dogs.
And she says that she put the dog around other older dogs in a hunting setting to teach her how to behave. Mm-hmm. She talks about using an electronic collar, but then at the same time, she calls the dog untrainable. I mean, when you hear that, I mean, do you get the sense that she really tried her level best to actually train this dog?
I don't know what her personal best would be, but yeah, there are many more appropriate ways to train dogs than that, especially with electric collars and aversive methods like this that rely on pain, fear, and intimidation. Those are strongly correlated with increased aggression in dogs. Now, many members of the public don't realize that. That's one of the big problems, that collars like electric collars and prong collars and choke chains are used aggressively to suppress behavior. But one of the things we're trying to raise awareness about is the fact that there are so many side effects, and there's nothing that can't be trained with positive reinforcement training. And the good thing about positive reinforcement training and responsible management of the dog's environment, which was also lacking in this case, this really is what people need to, because it doesn't have the side effects. This is what more people need to be aware of.
There are probably, as she writes in her book, this idea that maybe she finds all this conversation quite naive and thinks that hard choices are made. You just don't understand what it's like. I think she references farm life in particular, and the idea of having to make tough decisions on farms in different parts of the country. What do you make of that? Because I'm sure there are people who are listening and thinking it's a dog, which is certainly not my opinion of the matter. But what do you say to people who look at this issue and think that we're being naive?
I think we're losing.
Oh, I think I just blew his mind with that question. The idea that someone would think it's naive. Enough said. That he was saying he has no words for what I've just said. He cannot respond to that thought process. I guess I understand.
Zach George, thank you for joining us. Sorry that we couldn't finish that interview, but
we had some technical difficulty at the end. But what I wanted to say there was, I have to wonder if it is not considered a crime to shoot a dog in South Dakota. I don't know. I know in most parts of the country that I'm aware of, I'm under the impression it is considered animal cruelty. She almost makes it clear that she does it as an in-the-moment decision. Even if we are dealing with a serious case of aggression here, that doesn't make sense. Behavioral euthanasia may be an option for some dogs. From what I heard here, that wasn't necessarily the case. There was a failure to control the environment. And as I mentioned in the video, she was using aversive dog training methods, which are clearly correlated with increased aggression. You know, I'm not saying that's definitely what happened here, but it is definitely a known cause of increased aggression in dogs. So this to me is shocking. You would expect someone, if they were going to tell this story, to be more reverent about it. But to celebrate this and to portray this as an act of courage, and that's why you should vote for me and keep me in office in South Dakota. If I'm a citizen of South Dakota, I'm going to insist on an investigation here to understand if this was legal or not. I mean, we can start there. So I think it would really speak volumes if the appropriate authorities looked into the matter and investigated it in South Dakota for a start. But what do you all think? Tell me in the comments below.